Hey guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today is Vlogmas Day 11. So this episode is all about don't let your ego get in the way when you're trying to learn. So learn and don't let your ego get in the way. All right, so let's begin. Okay, what do I mean by this? When you are learning and you are starting to ask questions, the thing that I recommend first is learning how to do your research so that when you are asking questions, you're asking thoughtful and well thought out questions, not just, hey, I need the answer. Because, hey, I need the answer is never going to help you get far in this field. And if you do that to your coworkers as a medical coder, they will find out very quickly, and then you will have nobody to ask questions to because no one will want to help. The thing about some medical coders is if they didn't have somebody to train them, they are less likely to train anybody else because no one trained them and they learned. So that's sort of the thing that a lot of new coders run into, that, well, no one trained me and I'm not going to train you. You're going to have to learn on your own. But if you're demonstrating that you are doing your research, you're trying to study and you're trying to figure the stuff out on your own, and then there's something that you just need help with, people are more likely to help you. So that is putting your own ego aside and saying, well, I need to call in for reinforcements. I need to call in for backup to help me on this because I really need help. And asking for help is a really big thing. Asking for help indicates trust. You have to trust the person that you're asking for help for as well, right? Help too, right? Because when I ask for help, when I have to put aside the fact that I can't figure this out, I am okay with it because I know that at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's about my provider and giving them the best quality of coding that I could possibly give them. And if that means that I got to put aside my ego and say, you know what, I can't figure this out, I got to call in for backup, then that's what I have to do, because it's putting my own ego aside. It's not about, wow, I really couldn't figure this out and I don't want to ask anybody else. I do have my one close friend that I do ask for help, and she's the one that I lean on. If I literally get stuck in a jam, I will call her up and say, I need your help, because she has so much experience and she knows how to find things. So it's like, the expression, if you give a man a fish for a day, you feed him for a meal, right? Or how does it go? If you feed a man a fish, you feed him for a day. There we go. And then if you teach a man a fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So with coding, it goes, you give a coder a code, you do one encounter, right? But if you teach them how to code, they can learn for a lifetime. Oh, wisdom with Blue today. But the thing about it is, when you're asking for help, always ask somebody that you know knows more than you. And that is also giving part of yourself to say, you know what, I'm going to put my ego aside and accept the fact that I don't know everything. I have said that all the time, even about me. I don't know everything. I will admit all the time that I don't know everything. I know how to do research and I know the rules, but there's just so much to medical coding that it is so vast, and I'm still learning. I'm 10 plus years in and I'm still learning. So, and my aha moment happened back in 2014. Can you imagine if I had been paying attention and had my aha moment sooner than that, how much more I would have learned by now? But all that said, there's going to be times when you're going to have to put that ego aside and say, you know what? I need to call for backup. I can't figure this out on my own. But always, always, always attempt to get it on your own, because once you get it by yourself and then you're able to get your get your legs and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it now. Then people will know when you go to ask for help that you really do need help. And it's not going to be just that you're just asking for help just to sort of get the answer and move on. When it comes to what we do in this field of health information, you have to do a lot of things independently, and you have to be expected to do your research and investigate, because not everybody is going to have a very easy and straightforward clinic. There's going to be times when you're looking at things and it's not as straightforward as you might think it is, and it's going to require a little bit more effort on your part to really think about what's happening. So the ones that benefit the most is the patient and the provider, because the patient benefits from you making those firm decisions to do this correctly as possible, so that they don't have to overpay or underpay. And then the provider is getting fair and equal payment for their efforts. So that is very important to know. And that is something that it's going to go hand in hand with what we do. And that is the ins and outs of it all. That you are going to have those instances where you're going to have to say, well, I don't get this one, but I'm just going to have to put my own ego aside and ask. And if somebody tells you that you're wrong, even like if you get audited and somebody tells you that you're wrong, if they can prove their argument. Now, I will say this, if they can prove their argument, then okay. If they cannot prove their argument and they're saying, it's this way because I say so, our ethics tell us that we have to make sure that everything is accurate. We have to code to the most highest level of specificity, and we can't just code to go along to get along. Okay, I'm paraphrasing that one, the last part, go along to get along. But it's in there. And you guys really should check out the AHIMA Standards of Ethical Coding. That applies to every single medical coder, regardless of your association. We all follow those rules. And it's very important that you do so. So again, if you're getting audited and your auditor provides you with really good information and can tell you how they got their answer, then you're good. If they can't, then you need to make sure that you do your research and that you understand why that auditor got what they got, or have somebody explain it to you. So that way you can make sure, because sometimes auditors can be wrong too. And I mean, we've all seen it. We've all seen where an auditor said, well, you're wrong here. And then you come back with your argument that is fitting and that is truthful and right. So that way you can see that what you had, your answer was correct. And it is that talking to them in the way that is respectful as well, so that you can give them their just due, right? That you are not trying to correct them, but at the same time you're advocating for your provider and the work that they did. So it does have a lot to do with ego, that part, because you don't want to be like, ha ha, I was right. You never want to be like that. You always, always, always want to be humble. Yes, we do have to advocate for our providers. We have to advocate for ourselves, but you still have to be humble and you still have to be respectful above all else. Be respectful, because that respect that you give to others is going to come back. Sometimes it may not come back right away. And sometimes you may have people who will say, well, you think you know everything and whatever. It's not about you think that you know everything. It's about the fact that you know how to do your research and you know how to look at all of these things in a respectful way and in a objective way, not a subjective way, but an objective way, because you want to get everything that is entitled for that provider. And that's what you want to do. So again, putting your ego aside so that way you can learn more will only benefit you, and it will only help you to remain humble. And that is important, and it is so key to being a really good high caliber medical coder, is to be humble as well, because you never want to be one of those people that is like, haha, because there's always going to be somebody that's going to try to prove you wrong. And that is just one of those things. So I hope you enjoyed today's message, and I will see y'all again tomorrow. There will be 2 episodes tomorrow, just so you know. Vlogmas Day 8 and Vlogmas Day 12. So that will catch me up. So I will see y'all next time. Bye.